you're probably in la la land and not seeing the reality of life, because we all go through emotional pain. I feel like some of us try to ignore that it's there and pretend that, oh, it doesn't exist. Oh, I don't need to fix it. Oh, like I'm already done with this. Oh, I'm not fixing the problem. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. And today we're going to talk about never even care anymore about the emotional pain that people give to you. Let's get started. In this world, everybody's going to have an opinion. I just have to say it. You are not going to go without your earth without somebody having an opinion. Okay? There's always somebody that might not have the same view as you, maybe the same view or a different view than you. So much. There's multiple people on earth that just love to give opinion to another. That could be your family, that could be your relationship, that could be your friends, whatever your surroundings, who you surround with, your teachers, whoever it is who tells you you're not going to do this, or hey, you're not going to become this, or hey, in your wildest dreams that would ever happen to you, whatever it is. I always take it as a purpose thing, because I feel like everybody on earth all struggle with the same thing, is knowing our purpose in life. And who the fuck knows? I'm sorry. Nobody else is going to know except for you. Meaning, you create your own reality. Why? By going after what you want to create. Why am I talking about this? If this has to deal with emotional pain, why am I talking about this? Emotional pain has to do with multiple things. That sometimes that we don't realize that we are our own triggers. Meaning we trigger ourselves by our own minds. We all go through emotional pain. That could be from work related issues, relationship related issues, family related issues, things outside of our own control. Meaning, let's get into this one. Or if someone flipped you off in traffic, that caused you to have emotional pain, because it's like, damn, what the hell did I do? Or why is this person it rubs you the wrong way. Or your boss being disrespectful or causing you emotional pain, because honestly, I feel like most of our bosses do trigger us from what we experienced in our childhoods. So yes, that's considered emotional pain. This is how I take it. You don't have to take it the way I take it out in the world. If you resonate with it, but I am going to tell you this. No matter the scenario that it's taking place, emotional pain is always going to be there. But how do we not let it affect us? That's the hardest key. And I feel like majority of our lives is all about emotional pain and putting us down. And people say, the religious term, oh, that's the devil trying to put chains on you. It's reality trying to put chains on you. But sometimes it's not. And I'm going to tell you this. Sometimes it teaches you resilience in life. So say if you lash out at things. Say if you are a person that lashes out and the littlest things affect you. You don't have that much resilience. That's what resilience means. Resilience means being able to be emotionally stable in the most hardest of terms of life, of situations. Let's give an example. Your father is screaming at you in the top of his lungs. He is out of his damn right mind. He's disrespectful, disregarding who you are. And that pains you emotionally. And all you want to do is fight back. All you want to do is give in to that anger and be like, we want to go off. But then you realize to yourself, I'm just like them. And that's sometimes not enough to know that you're just like them. But let me tell you something else. Being able to be emotionally intelligent is way better than someone who lashes out in anger. That's how you win the war. You want to lose the battle, win the war. Most people in life think that little tiny battles, and I'm going to say this is not disregarding me either. Most people in life disregard the challenges life gives. They lash out or they get so angry and forget that, and I am a victim to this too. We all go through this. It's not like anybody is perfect in this world. But dealing with the emotional pain of it is way far grander in your approach into life, into adulthood, than lashing out at anybody or causing more fights than needed, or focusing so much on the triggers or the emotional pain. And I'm going to stem off another part of emotional pain. And I feel like this is going to help you deal with it better in life. It's not going to fix it. Emotional pain is literally supposed to be what transforms us in a way. Sometimes. I always say there's always a difference to people, but if you could take pain into power, you have won the battle. You won the war. Why? Because you're transmuting that energy anyway into something positive. So whatever aspect of your life you're changing from that emotional pain, it will be beneficial for you. And that's why I feel like most people are forgetting about. We still have to become the little tiny aspects of ourselves. We're not perfect. Nobody has to be perfect. It has to be perfect. But we could learn how to grow for ourselves through this pain. So these are small things that you don't even have to be spending like an arm and a leg to try to fix. Do you read? Do you take time for yourself? Do you self-reflect? These are things that you could take this emotional pain and transmute it into something that's a positivity out of yourself. Do you go to the gym? Do you take time for yourself? Do you work on something that you believe in? Do you work on a side hustle? These are all things you could put into when you go through emotional pain. And I say if you're going and living such a happy life, then you're probably in la la land and not seeing the reality of life, because we all go through emotional pain. I feel like some of us try to ignore that it's there and pretend that, oh, it doesn't exist. Oh, I don't need to fix it. Oh, like I'm already done with this. Oh, I healed from it, but not really healed from it. But every time it's just going to keep traumatizing me. And I'm not going to keep healing. I'm just going to keep running away from my problems or not fixing the problem. I feel like there's some people like that with emotional pain. Or I feel like some people just like to take the easy route out of life. That they take their emotional pain and they victimize it. And I've dealt with this for myself too. There's some moments in my life where I say, not saying that I was a victim, but it's true. There's sometimes that I victimize my life. And sometimes you're allowed to. There's some moments in your life you're allowed to be a victim, but not for long. Because if you stay in that victim mentality, if you stay in I need to run away from this pain and not deal with it, it's never ever going to fix who you are. If you take that emotional pain and be like, what can I do? What can I do to reach my goals that I want? What can I do to plan out something better for myself? What can I do to transmute that energy into positivity? It could be somebody talking about you. It could be somebody irritating you. Emotional pain, whatever. How can I transmute that into a better self of me? Because in reality of life, we're all going to face emotional pain. And I keep repeating it because we are going to. I feel like there's some people like that with emotional pain. Or I feel like some people just like to take the easy route out of life. That they're like, I healed from it, but not really healed from it. But every time it's just going to keep traumatizing me. And I'm not going to keep healing. I'm just going to keep running away from my problems or not fixing that they take their emotional pain and they victimize it. And I've dealt with this for myself too. There's some moments in my life where I say, not saying that I was a victim, but it's true. There's sometimes that I victimize my life. And sometimes you're allowed to. There's some moments in your life you're allowed to be a victim, but not for long. Because if you stay in that victim mentality, if you stay in I need to run away from this pain and not deal with it, it's never ever going to fix who you are. If you take that emotional pain and be like, what can I do? What can I do to reach my goals that I want? What can I do to plan out something better for myself? What can I do to transmute that energy into positivity? It could be somebody talking about you. It could be somebody irritating you. Emotional pain, whatever. I'm going to give you a couple tips, tricks, and also a product that really saved my hair. Some tricks when you're having a lot of hair loss is due to stress. You have to lessen your stress. If you went through COVID, that is also a very stressful thing that happened to people, but also has a side effect of losing hair. Sorry, if you see me looking that way, a bee almost came in. But I wanted to explain to you guys, I went through the same thing. I went through the same journey, and I came up with an all-natural product that helped me with growing back my hair, helping me with also chemical damage that I have. And it's called Lux Live, and I have two products. I have the big size bottle and the small size bottle. The reason for the big size bottle is if you're into oiling your hair, this is key, and that is also another tip I'm going to tell you. Oiling your hair is probably the best thing you could do if you want to grow back your hair. And I could give you so many tips on how to do it and to keep it in for longer periods of time than just 30 minutes. Best thing to do, little tip, if you put your hair up in a bun, slick back, anything like that, best thing is use this product, oil it a little bit, use some gel, put it up, and I swear it will do wonders to your hair after. I hope that helps. I'll see you guys soon. Okay. Back. Emotional pain has two. You could take it in a way as it's beneficial of helping you get through life's toughness, but you could also take it as a setback. And a lot of times in our life, we care so much about the emotional pain that it causes us so much setback in life. And I could speak about this to. My dog is barking, sorry. I could speak about this to the end of time. And what I mean by this is, I'm going to tell you about how a relationship set me back because of the emotional pain that it caused me. I would love to tap out of my family, but right now, there's some things you just gotta keep private. And some things you just gotta live and learn from and move on. So I'm going to talk about relationships because I feel like a lot of people could relate to relationships that stemmed off of family history of emotional pain, meaning what we went through as childhood. And most of us who went through heavy amounts of emotional, I don't want to call it trauma, but it is trauma, but pain, 9 out of 10 times have ran back to that same emotional pain once they got out of their household or once they're out in the real world. Why? Because we never healed from it. Emotional pain in a relationship, how it sets you back. I'm going to give you an example of my own. And I'm not going to call this a setback because in reality, it showed me exactly what I'm doing right now, what I want to do. But it caused me to, it set me back first because I was going through so much emotional pain in my relationship. Even though it was not so much always on the surface, it was always still in the back of my head, so I could not move forward. After it was done, I decided to take a break from basically a gap semester off from school. Emotionally, I was suffering inside because first I was still dealing with him because I was still in the process of what was this and the back and forthness because of like not knowing what this was. That was my first relationship. Let's get straight to the point. It was very emotionally painful, which in my own terms in my life put my life to a halt in a way. And I don't really have to speak, but to know the terms of things, it set me back in life. It set me where I wanted to go for myself in life. And it set me back on what I was trying to do with my hair oil. I was trying to come up with something, like someone to start to believe in me. That's what I wanted, but I was not getting that. So in terms, I was so quiet about the dreams I had for myself. So moral of the story of what I'm trying to say is that emotional pain can set you back if you allow it to. But if you don't want it to, take it as this. If the emotional pain is getting to the point where you feel lost, don't know what to do, you feel like there's no corner to get out of, that's when you're going to take that seriously. You can't just not pretend that it's there, but sometimes when emotional pain gets so deep that you can't even transmute that energy into maybe a positive out of yourself, or you just cannot see anything but a future for yourself, let it go. Let anything of that go. Because that is never going to help you. That will traumatize you more. That's why I said about the relationship. If I stayed even longer, I don't know where I would have been in my life. Choose what you want to stay in wisely. Because after time, emotional pain can turn into trauma. Because that's how it is. The chains will stay on as long as you want the chains to stay on. And like I said, you could still deal with or not care with emotional pain that much by creating a different life for yourself. Creating a life for yourself means making a different reality for yourself. Meaning, if your parents at home, you're done with their emotional pain and how much they've been treating you, the negativity has just fed you up. But you have been on in and out about how to get out of your situation, of your home. You don't want to struggle when you leave, but you can't provide for yourself staying in the same spot, and you know that you're not going to be able to grow farther for yourself unless you make a different type of living for yourself. Because sometimes I say it's environment too. That's when you take every single emotional pain, because maybe you still love your parents, maybe you still care, it's too much for you. Because again, that's when you could take what your emotional pain that you're going through at that moment and basically use that as your power to keep moving forward by creating something for yourself. Say if your job's not paying you enough, then go find and go. I'm not saying go do this, but I am telling you this. Do what heightens your ability to get where you want to be in life. Because we all have a choice to do something. Emotional pain is always going to set us back if we allow it. Or we could use it as a lesson for ourselves to know what we want to get out of the end result of something if we keep pushing forward. So I feel like a lot of us forget that, because a lot of us maybe are single right now or kind of going through life by themselves. Or if you're not, that's different too. But we all are going through life by ourselves because we are in our own minds. And we could change what we want in reality. If we don't want to be living in where we're at, your parents, it's time to move into our next chapter if you want to take it like that. Use that emotional pain that you feel on a daily as insight. An insight to keep yourself going. Because we could stay stagnant a lot during emotional pain. And definitely in the times now that we're living in this world. There's a lot of emotional pain everywhere we look. During COVID, there was a lot of emotional pain. Now, during anything we see, wars, everything is emotional pain that we see. I bet you if you're scrolling and you see a sad TikTok or Instagram, that's emotional pain right there. Emotional pain is legitimately anywhere you go. So it's in the world and it's in your living situation too. Or your relationship. It's about growth. What can we grow from this moment to make us better? I could tell you about the relationship thing that I thought was a setback. Instead, it helped me grow. I got to come out with this, guys, little promo, this hair oil. This came out because of that. First, from the emotional pain that I went through during COVID, and second, because it was during the same time. Let's recap. Relationship, COVID, same time. And second, helped me, myself, become more authentic with myself, more knowing of who I am. Right now, also, I am going into different lines of learning how to do things. Like, I'm learning to do new things. I'm getting my degree. I'm deciding to try new things in my life. Am I still dealing with the emotional pain? Hell yes, I am. We all are. But what we create and what we make as in our reality is what we make of it. For me, it's a goal of mine. My goal is to stand on my own financially. And this is my creative dream, I say. What I do online is what I creatively want to do. But in my own reality, I'm still learning it. How to never deal with emotional pain is literally, I'm going to give you 2 data points. There's so many. 2 data points is the emotional pain that you feel is all within your control. And the reality is we go through life by ourselves. And I feel like now because of COVID, a lot of us feel like we're alone. Maybe we're not alone, but we feel like we're alone. Internally, we feel like we're alone. And I feel like that's always been like a broken part in a lot of us that been through COVID. Why? Because we isolated ourselves. And they're like, well, we got back out there. It's been for a couple of years. But does it feel the same? I always say COVID really messed with people. And I say even emotionally too, because it messed with me emotionally. We went through a pandemic, guys. And we went through something that was detrimental. It's definitely going to put an impact on us. And I keep saying it's all around. For me, it was emotionally. But no matter the situation, it isolated us to become more in tune with who that we are our own person. Like, this is our own lives, meaning that we're more self-aware. That's what I feel like. But how, in a world that's so chaotic and crazy, how do we make self-awareness our power? This is how it all comes into one. I'm putting this at the end for a reason. But no matter the circumstance that we go through with pain, the way to detach or not deal with it anymore is to create something of a new reality. New friendships, new routine, new being, new doing of things. There's so much things you could do that are so beneficial for your own growth in life that it could be as small as cooking. Do you cook for yourself? Can you make up a nice meal for yourself? Do you clean your room? Do you keep yourself hygienic? I'm gonna leave it like that because I feel like now I'm just going back and forth. And I'll see you guys in the next. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.